So is Hugh Grant going to be the next Jar Jar Binks or Bob Ross? Heretic, starring Hugh Grant, Sophie Thatcher, and Chloe East, is about two young missionaries who are forced to prove their faith when they knock at the wrong door and are greeted by a diabolical Mr. Reed, becoming ensnared in his deadly game of cat and mouse. Heretic was a movie that I've had on my watch list for a while now. It's been one of my most anticipated movies coming into November and December because the trailers for this movie didn't really reveal too much, but you had a pretty solid idea what this movie was getting into and what it was going for. And it still completely blew me away with what they were able to do with this movie, what they eventually did with this movie. The messaging, the themes, the debates that they had in this movie are so incredibly well done. They really make you think about your faith, about religion, about theology, just as a whole. You get a little bit of time to learn about the two sisters coming into this movie before they go to Mr. Reed's house, but it gets you to the point pretty quickly. But from the moment that they sit down in the living room, it is a tension-filled movie. This movie has you on the edge of your seat the entire time, and you don't know where it's going to go. You don't know the twists and turns that it's going to take, and that is what was so encapsulating about it. But my favorite part about this movie was Hugh Grant's performance. I have seen over 50 movies this year at this point, and his performance in this movie is probably my favorite of the entire year. And horror movies don't usually get nominated for Oscars in any category, but Hugh Grant should be nominated for Best Supporting Actor. He is so incredibly fantastic in this movie, playing a deranged, psychotic man who is also insanely smart. He orchestrates these games, and you believe that he is this complete monster and this complete evil genius practically who has orchestrated these games, orchestrated these quizzes, and these analogies that he uses in this movie. They really make sense, and the writing for this movie was spectacular because he was a fantastically written character, and Hugh Grant delivered an all-time performance. The two sisters do a solid job as well, but it just doesn't compare to what Hugh Grant is able to do with his character and with this script that they are giving to him. He just does such a fantastic job that it completely overshadows everybody else in the movie. Like I said earlier, the conversations that they have in the first half of this movie about theology, about religion, and about everything that comes along with it, and about different theories, whether it be simulation theory, the dollhouse theory, or whatever else not, they have so many ideas, so many debates, they tackle so many types of religion and types of theology, and they do a fantastic job at it. The second half of this movie is a lot more of the horror aspect of it, because the first half is more of a psychological thriller, and you're on the edge of your seat wanting to know what's going to happen, how the girls are going to get through this situation, and then once they get put in the bad situation, that's when it becomes more of the horror movie that the trailer showed. So while I definitely enjoyed the first half of this movie a little bit more than I did the second half, I still really enjoyed the second half of this movie because it still keeps the tension building, and you still have so many twists and turns that you don't see coming, and it rounds out the movie in a really nice way. And specifically, the ending of this movie is so well done because the ending is very open-ended. Just overall, the foreshadowing in this movie is very well done. There are moments of foreshadowing where you think that you're going to remember it, but by the time that they bring it back up, you completely forget about it. You should have seen some things coming, and you feel dumb about it in hindsight, but in the moment, it is really hard to realize where this movie's going. And that is the thrill of it. So overall, I really enjoyed Heretic. It's one of my favorite movies of the year so far. Let me know what you thought of it down in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe as well. Follow me over on Letterboxd where you can check out all my reviews there. And we will see you in the next movie review.